Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett. We want to give you a look at some of the top stories for your Sunday. We have our reporters working on different stories this afternoon. We're going to have Yasmina Alston talking about some preparations for the cold weather that we're anticipating. And we have Asia Wilson that's working on a story regarding a restaurant. So we hope to have more information for you on those later tonight. And of course, you can also look to AtlantaNewsFirst.com as well as our app for any information that you might need. We want to keep you covered on streaming, on TV, and of course online as well. So hopefully you've had a really nice weekend so far. We just want to touch base with you and tell you some of the things that are in the works for a little bit later. Keep in mind, we are going to have a newscast tonight at 10 on Peachtree TV and 11 on CBS. We hope to join you there. So one of the stories that we want to talk about, this has been reported on this morning. We do have some updates regarding a fire that happened in Sandy Springs. Unfortunately, 10 people were displaced this morning after a fire broke out at an apartment complex. This happened around 4 a.m. on Rosemont Dunwoody Apartments. That's off North Ridge Road. Sandy Springs police say that they arrived first to try to help people evacuate. They were then joined by firefighters. 4 units were burned and another 4 suffered some minor damage, but the good news here is that Sandy Springs Fire did not mention any injuries. So our reporter, Bridget Spencer, she was on the scene earlier this morning. She has the latest.
Jose Ramirez is saving what he can after an early morning fire destroyed all his belongings.
I just have to recover from this. Everything's flooded in there. So ceilings collapsing because of the drywall.
He's one of at least 10 neighbors who woke up to banging on their doors from first responders. This happened at the Rosemont at Dunwoody Apartments off Colquitt Road.
As soon as I realized what was going on, I was like, okay, where's my cat? Where's my dog? My cat was missing.
The fire started in Ramirez's building just after 4 a.m. And after hours of searching, he found his cat Vulcan alive and well.
He had showed up and I just collapsed. I was crying.
Brothers Yogi and Derv Patel sprang into action when they saw their upstairs neighbor struggling.
There was a woman who was just sitting right by the window. And she was like trying to breathe air from the window. We got a blanket and she just jumped right over and we caught her.
The brothers, now hailed heroes. The Sandy Springs fire chief says miraculously nobody was killed or even hurt, something he always strives for at any fire.
That's what it's about, is us saving lives. Buildings can be rebuilt, lives cannot be restored.
The cause still under investigation. The Red Cross was on the scene helping the displaced. And as for Ramirez, he'll be hugging his pets and his loved ones a little tighter, as they will be staying in a nearby hotel for now. In Sandy Springs, Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
Again, if any good news can be reported from that, it's that there were no reported injuries. We're going to continue to stay on top of that. We will bring you the latest information that we have tonight. The next story that we have here, this is actually an update to a story that we first brought you the other day. This is after a 19-year-old was shot in DeKalb County. We have some video here of that scene. This is the initial scene. A 19-year-old has now been arrested for involuntary manslaughter after DeKalb County police believe he accidentally shot and killed another 19-year-old last week. So again, Atlanta News First, we were on the scene here. We first brought you this story last week, and now we have more information that a 19-year-old has been charged. Quintavious Wilkes was booked into the DeKalb County Jail yesterday, and it was last Friday that he allegedly shot another 19-year-old in a car with several other passengers. Police arrived in the 1800 block of Sean Wayne Court before 10 p.m. and found a man with a gunshot wound to the back. Although they believe the shooting may have happened somewhere else, the victim was taken to the hospital where he eventually died. He still has not been identified today, but the latest information is that we know another 19-year-old has now been charged with involuntary manslaughter after this 19-year-old was shot and killed in the back. The person who was charged in this case, Quintavious Wilkes, also 19 years old. Police say that they were in a car together with several other passengers when this happened. So an update to a sad story here, but one person has been charged. The next thing we want to talk about here is a sad 3-year mark happening tomorrow. A mother is pleading for answers, asking what happened to her son 3 years ago. Tomorrow marks the day when her son was shot and killed outside of the Encore Hookah Lounge and Bistro in downtown Atlanta. She says, as the killers are still on the street, she's burdened with her own pain every day, but she says she's also burdened with fear for people in the community, fear for people's safety, saying that she wants to get the people who killed her son behind bars, the person or people. Asia Wilson spoke with her, and she has her urgent plea to the community. I want to share that information for you now.
Every morning my heart aches.
From balloon releases to a number of gravesite visits.
It's hard to wake up every day and he's not here.
More than 1,000 days later,
Monday will be the 3rd year that my son was murdered, and they have not yet apprehended the murderers.
Keisha Houston is still burdened with pain after her son DeAndre Houston, also known as Padre,
He was a very important person to us. He was our cornerstone.
was shot and killed as he went outside the Encore Hookah Bar and Bistro in 2021.
And I have to drive past that street almost every day. So it's heartbreaking.
She says he was a college graduate, a lovable car salesman.
He was the brains of our whole family. And we've been very broken.
Who was working hard so he could go to law school before his life was stripped away.
They killed my son. They didn't even know him. He was a random person. They drove up on him and just shot him.
Previously, Atlanta police released this surveillance footage, which shows 2 people they believe could be connected to this shooting. But Houston says she hasn't heard from police in months.
Until we get these gentlemen or get these murderers off the street, me or my family won't rest.
Right now, there's still a $20,000 reward for anyone who could help point to more information.
Somebody knows something and nothing has happened. And law enforcement, could you please help me get these killers off the street?
And as the days continue to pass, Houston is hopeful something will surface that will finally give them closure.
Get justice for Padre. He deserves it. It's been 3 whole years.
In Atlanta, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
So just very sad news there. Again, tomorrow marking that 3-year point. If you know anything about this case, you are urged to contact investigators. Now, before we wrap up here, something else that I do want to point out tomorrow, I'll pull this up for you here. What you're looking at is the image of Deputy Eric Minx. Tomorrow, we will say a final farewell to him. His service is at 11 a.m. at Crossroads Church in Sharpsburg. He died in the line of duty this past week. It's been a really tough week for law enforcement here in North Georgia. We are told that it started with a high-speed chase, that he was pursuing a suspect into Alabama. And it was when it got to that point that other jurisdictions in Alabama also responded, deployed stop sticks to try to stop the suspect. When Deputy Minix got out of the car, a Lynette police officer, the city of Lynette police in Alabama, hit and killed Deputy Minix with his car. Investigators say he was not able to stop in time. So he leaves behind a wife, 3 daughters. He's a Coweta County Sheriff's deputy, and so tomorrow his service will be at 11 a.m. at Crossroads Church in Sharpsburg. Atlanta News First will be there, and we will bring you more from that service. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring that up, that was happening tomorrow. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about him, if you would like to read more about what happened, I have pulled up here atlantanewsfirst.com. You can look for this story here. It is right on our homepage. All right, taking you back out here live. Normally, we would be chatting about the weather right now, but First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin, he's got a lot to tell you about tonight at 8 o'clock. So you're definitely going to want to tune in here for that. We have a First Alert weather day coming up on Tuesday, and there are some cold temperatures that you need to be aware of. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I will give you a gorgeous look of downtown Atlanta. Again, you can join us tonight at 10 on Peachtree TV, 11 on WANF. We really hope to see you there. And you can join First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin here at the First Alert desk at 8 p.m. And there he can also answer all of your weather questions. If you want to know more information about the weather specifically in your area, Cutter can certainly help to answer that. But I hope everybody stays safe, take care, and have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.